Join us for Game 2 of the series as the Cubs face the Pirates. Coverage begins at 5 with Sports Talk Live, followed by a brand new edition of Bases Loaded on CSN.
Here's Jared Hughes.
He's an enthusiastic right-hander. He comes sprinting out of that bullpen. I mean, I'd be gassed if I ran as hard as he did from the bullpen to the mound. Bundle of energy out there. His 64th appearance comes tonight. He's 1-1 with an ERA of 3. Sinkers and sliders, changeup. Usually gets a lot of outs on the ground.
Hughes to Contreras. And a strike. If you're in the Cub dugout, you're going, come on, Willie.
I would nickname him Extra L. That would be my nickname for him.
That's 3 syllables. 2 max, right, for a good nickname?
Well, there's a nickname that, you know, there's multiple layers of nicknaming. You can give a guy a long nickname that you don't really use. Like back in the day, there was Death to Flying Things Ferguson, the outfielder. I doubt that anybody would.
Right.
Hey, what's up, Death to Flying Things?
It's kind of second level nicknaming.
Yeah. Or Hugh, losing pitcher Mulcahy. I didn't use that very often. Now,
2 silhouettes on Deshays is Chris Berman's nickname that he stuck on you, but no one's going to say, hey, silhouettes on.
Now, here's one, the Big Hurt, right? Frank Thomas. Did anybody ever? I think he was referred to as the Big Hurt, and people might have called him Hurt, but I doubt that anybody said, hey, what's up, Big Hurt?
Right. Contreras hustling, but he's thrown out by Florimon.
Randy Johnson, the big unit.
Right.
People would call him RJ or refer to him as the unit, but probably say, hey, what's up, big unit?
There's Chapman getting ready for a non-save spot. So to take this all full circle tonight, I think you, as president of our council, should come up with National Nickname Day.
I like it.
But will it be September 26th? Will we have to then petition for next year?
We're going to check the calendar to see when there's a light, because you don't want your day overshadowed by like Pancake Day and things of that nature.
I suppose we should find out if there is such a thing as National Nickname Day already on the books. And if they have all their paperwork filed and that sort of thing, because we can get our lawyers on this. Hayward out into deep left center. And it drops down as he'll head to second. He's got a double. He's had a good night. 2 hits, 2 RBIs, so far 2 runs.
Yeah, very nice night. Couple of knocks, sac fly, a walk. Pirate pitchers have made 220 pitches in this ball game. They've walked 6, allowed 17 hits. Cubs have thrown 143 pitches.
Line shot, center field. Hayward to third. The hit parade continues.
See, that's the other part of it too. You get into a blowout game like this, and the idea of knocking somebody off the plate, that moment has passed. You know, the damage has been done, so you don't really have that in your arsenal as a pitcher.
Yeah, good point.
And you got a bunch of comfortable hitters up there.
Cubs have tied their season high with 18 hits April 21st in Cincinnati. Cubs won that game 16-0. That was one of Chris Bryant's big games. Went 4 for 6 with 6 knocked in, 2 home runs. That was the Arrieta no-hitter.
This game now has the vibe of a spring training B game played at 10 o'clock in the morning. Not many folks in the ballpark.
The announced paid crowd tonight, 20,519. There may be 5,000 or 6,000 max at this point. Swing and a miss by Almora. It's 2-2.
Sense a little sarcasm in the "Let's go Bucks" chant.
So our viewers on Twitter are telling us that National Nickname Day does not exist. So
It's wide open for us.
I think we should look into it. We meaning you. I grab all the mail that says Len and JD. So I think that in fairness.
Well, we're gonna look up Noodles Hahn, since that's a great nickname, and we'll make whatever his birthday is will be National Nickname Day.
Oh, I love that idea. Okay. Another foul. That is April 29th, 1879 he was born.
There you go.
So we should make April 29th National Nickname Day. Could this be like a common law marriage? Should we just declare it, and then over the course of time it just becomes that because we two Cubs broadcasters said it's
We'll see.
so?
We'll throw it out there, and we'll see if we.
Okay.
We'll see if it'll go viral.
To the shortstop. Florimon and Rodriguez team up, and that will end the inning. But we got a lot accomplished. We got National Nickname Day all set for April 29th, 2017.
Together man is said to be sharp. At GMC, we get why people appreciate that kind of precision. After all, precision is the kind of sharp that slices through a crowd. This is the precision of professional grade. It's the GMC 2016 model year sell down. Now get 20% below MSRP on select Sierra 1500 models in stock. That's over $10,300 on this Sierra SLT Crew.
It's the fabric that brings an entire nation together. It says to the world, we will never lose faith. We believe in this team. Her generation, his generation. the next generation. Maybe this October, if we fly it high enough and loud enough and proud enough, well, you get the idea.
The toast of the game is presented by Binny's Beverage Depot. We're giving it to Kyle Hendricks as he has whittled down his earned run average to 1.99. Binny's is the official champagne provider of the Chicago Cubs.
Just rolling right along. Dealing like always. 6 shutout innings. And Strop, Rondon, and now Aroldis Chapman in to finish things up here. 4-1, 36 saves and 39 tries with the Yankees and the Cubs combined.
Hit 104 last night on the radar gun.
16 saves since joining the Cubs. Threw 20 pitches last night in a scoreless inning. Had a walk and a strikeout. He had not pitched in 6 days prior to last night's appearance. Slide ball.
Yeah. For a strike on Rogers. I think National Nickname Day is now trending on Twitter. And we are efforting to try to get word to Lester Holt to ask the presidential candidates about that idea and see if they support it tonight. So we're working on it. It's moving fast. Outside.
That's 3 consecutive off-speed pitches for Chapman. First pitch slider. I think the last 2 were attempted sliders as well. So that's the advantage of being in this situation. So he's working back-to-back days, but this is obviously a blowout game. So he can go out there and tinker a little bit with his 10-run lead. Use his slider a little bit more. With an eye towards perhaps being a little bit more diverse in his approach in the postseason, or at least having confidence in those pitches.
Just noticed the JF-16 on Chapman's cap, obviously in tribute to Jose Fernandez. Spent some time together in the offseason, both hailing from Cuba.
Whoop. This where the real fun could be for Chapman, throwing something other than a fastball in what are normally considered to be fastball counts, especially for a guy who throws 103 miles per hour. Throw the slider or the changeup on 3-2.
Kawasaki to Coughlin.
Guess you don't want to get too cute out there when you got his arm. That old adage about not wanting to get beat with your second or third best pitch. I'm not sure I buy that philosophy. Sometimes it's important, even for a guy with his arm, his velocity, to come off that fastball a little bit.
I want to see him flip one up there at 74. Is he even capable of doing it? So everything he throws is pretty hard.
Yeah, I'm sure he could throw a little
lollipop
just
one up
spin
there.
a little, yeah. Little flip curveball.
Jaso might swing 3 times.
Hey, Johnny.
It's over. The Indians have clinched the American League Central. 7-4 the final in Detroit. Their first division title since 2007.
Do you like Terry Francona for Manager of the Year in the American League?
I think he'd be a pretty good choice. I like... Yes. Hey, Jeff Bannister didn't do anything to deserve not winning it again, but and I think the same about Joe Madden, but it's tough to repeat for that award. And yeah, I'd say Tito. National League, what do you think? Dave Roberts?
Yeah, probably Dave Roberts. I got it, but if the Mets get in,
TC. Swing and a miss. Strike 3, 2 outs.
John Farrell will get some consideration for the turnaround they've had in Boston. Team won 78 ball games last year.
Absolutely. Bell with 2 outs. Swing and a miss. Is that a changeup or a slider?
I think that's the changeup.
Okay.
And a little fade. So he's having some fun out there tonight. I wonder how many appearances he's had where he's used his secondary pitches more than his fastball, because I believe that's the case here tonight. There's another changeup. So I'm sure this was discussed with Chapman and Chris Bosio and Joe Madden. Yeah, let's give him a situation out there in a comfortable lead where he can go out and mix it up a little bit. And first one was a changeup.
Well, I think he's got to throw some heat here, JD. Bryant went over the 100 RBI mark tonight. The Cubs are trying to win their 100th game, and how about 100 miles an hour here to end it?
Yeah, right on the dot.
101, and this will end it. That is win number 100. Cubs win. Cubs win. First time since 1935. They've gotten into triple digits. What a season. What a night. 12-2.
They just continue to check all these boxes. Now a 100-win season. Bryant gets over the 100 mark in RBIs. Javi Baez with the grand slam drives in 6. Cubs bang out 18 hits in support of Kyle Hendricks here tonight.
Well, that was fun. And we happen to be back here again tomorrow, so let's have some more fun. Our coverage starts at 5 o'clock with Sports Talk Live, and then JD and I will have game 2. Noodles Deshays and I will have game 2 of this 4-game series. So for our entire CSN crew here at PNC, Len and JD saying so long and stay tuned. Back in Chicago, they're getting set for Blue Cross Blue Shield Cubs post-game live. 12-2 Cubs, your final.
On the road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again. On the road again. Like a band of gypsies, we go down the highway.
matter which Passat you choose, you get more standard features for less than you expected.
Hurry in and lease the 2017 Passat S for just $199 a month.
In Chicago, some things just go together, like front porches and blue W's, bricks and ivy, Waveland Avenue and souvenirs, Jake and State Farm. Like home and auto insurance with State Farm, they just go together, and they save you time and money. Just another way we're here to help life go right. Talk to a State Farm agent today.
Ford is America's best-selling brand, and you can see why. Ford Fusion has the turbocharged power and efficiency of the EcoBoost engine and handles almost any condition with intelligent all-wheel drive. Plus, Focus offers next-generation voice-activated Sync 3 technology and the added safety of the blind spot information system. Right now, get a Focus or Fusion with 0 for 72 plus $1,750 bonus cash, or lease a Fusion for just $189 a month. Only at your local Ford store.
Cubs baseball on CSN Chicago is brought to you in part by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. Your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Honda dealers, as reliable as the cars themselves. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. Audi, truth in engineering. Menards, save big money at Menards. And by Toyota. Discover more in a Toyota. Visit buyatoyota.com or your local Toyota dealer today. Let's go places. This is Cubs Postgame Live, presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois.
You shut it down for 4 days.
Baez into the left field corner. Gone! That's a grand slam for Baez. A rocket into the seats in left.
Javi Baez, a monster night, and the Cubs offense explodes for 12 big runs, 12, 18, and 0. A whole lot better than 2, 10, and 2. Kyle Hendricks, the 16th win. Cubs get their 100th win, 12-2, the final. And welcome to Cubs Postgame Live, presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois. Along with Todd Hollingsworth, I'm David Kaplan. The offense was explosive, but you also have to look at Kyle Hendricks. He was really good again.
Yeah, it all adds up to a great win. This is what you want to see this week. Yeah, everybody, we're paying attention. We see, listen, you win your 100th game. We know what this is all about. But you look at it. I talked about it all last week. I'm talking about it again all this week. The details that go into this game. You look at Baez's performance. Almora, outstanding. Kyle Hendricks doing great things. Good at bats, good situational hitting. These guys have come to Pittsburgh to play baseball. They are not on vacation. They could be on vacation. We know that. This week doesn't mean a whole lot, but you want to stay sharp and you want to play your best baseball, and tonight was a great example of it. As, well, we'll call it maybe a little bit boring because they absolutely hammered on the Pittsburgh Pirates. They took care of business, and that's what you want to see.
All right, we got a whole lot to do on the show.
Boom.
Cubs get their 100th win, and they just continue to play really, really dominant baseball. Javi Baez, our UPS Store player of the game. First Cub to have 6 RBIs out of the 8th spot in the lineup since Starlin Castro in his Major League debut. That was way back. And this ball, Holly, smoked. Castro was 2010.
0-2, 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Now, definitely cut a little bit too much of the plate, and Javi was ready for it. But what a great swing of the bat right there for 95 miles an hour. Capitalized on the bases being loaded right there. Good swing of the bat. Drives it into the outfield, which ultimately you wanted to see, but gets so much of it. Line drive, grand slam. Congratulations to Javi Baez. Those are always big moments. Getting it done with the bat. 6 RBIs out of the 8th spot tonight. My goodness.
All right, also big night for Chris Bryant. As Anthony Rizzo told me last week, we're all over him if he doesn't get to 100 RBIs. And with a man on, Chris Bryant has liftoff.
Well, great to see Chris get there. You know, Cap, happy. You and I talked about this a little earlier this season. You know, he was all out pursuit of, the MVP, everything else that's going on, great swings, and all of a sudden it just seemed like his, maybe started to expand the strike zone just a little bit. He seems to be coming obviously back around again, but we talked about this. Remember last year how it ended with Chris Bryant at 99 RBIs last year, and kind of creeping there. He's at the number coming in, and all of a sudden he just kind of, jumped at us. There goes the ball. He's got a runner on first base. Not only does he get to 100, he gets to 101. Congratulations to Chris Bryant. He's had a fantastic season. Great to see.
Chris is the fourth Cubs since 1900 at 100 RBIs in his age 24 or younger season. The last to do it, our guy Ronnie Santo in 1964. The other two, Ernie Banks and Andy Petco. All right, let's talk about Chris, because he has 200 RBIs in two seasons. A little less than 2 seasons.
Right.
Still has the rest of this week. And you can tell he is just locked in.
Well, he's starting to see the ball, and maybe that's the progression. That's what the next step is. I thought back to last year and those struggles that he had the last week of the season. We talked about it, all the opportunities he had to get to 100. We talked about some of those benchmark numbers that guys want to get to. 100 RBIs, certainly significant. 40 homers, that's within reach. That's next. But those RBIs, there's no doubt that it kind of, at least it seemed, and I think his teammates believe this as well, crept into Chris's mind just a little bit over the last few weeks. Now, you got two ways to go with this. You can start to panic and start to expand that strike zone and start to struggle, or you can get back to playing your game. Because the one thing that happened when he started to struggle a couple weeks ago was he started to expand his strike zone. What he hasn't been doing lately, he's been going up there and putting together great at-bats, getting his pitch to hit as he did in this one with the two-run homer, a fastball down in the zone, out over the plate, gets his arms extended, and he's really just taking care of business. This is exactly what you want to see right now this week. Guys getting in line, swinging the bat well, building off each other. This game, I mean, honestly, the last 9 outs, say the innings 7, 8, 9 for the Chicago Cubs, this game was wrapped up, everybody. We know it was. The pitching was there, the hitting, we'd scored enough. They still were going out there. I even think back to Almora and hitting into the double play there in the 9th inning. That was a very good at-bat, grinding out at-bats, working pitches, working counts, getting back into the count, and finding ways to put the ball in play. Absolutely, man. This stuff all matters because you are going to get a break at the end of this run all the way till next Friday, and you're going to have plenty of time to rest and relax. It's very important to make sure that everybody, that they're playing with a bit of an edge.
All right, time for our Elk Grove pitching recap. Let's take a look at the numbers for Kyle Hendricks. He's still in pursuit of a Cy Young. He went 6 innings, 7 hits, did not allow an earned run. Struck out 5, didn't walk a man through 93 pitches. For Chad Kuhl, not a good night. Lasted just 3 innings, 8 hits, 5 earned, 3 Ks, 2 walks through 84 pitches. But for Kyle Hendricks, the ERA now a microscopic 1.99 for the season.
Well, another fantastic performance from Kyle again tonight. You see it, scattered 7 hits, had a couple innings, the 3rd and the 6th, got himself in a little bit of trouble. The 6th inning, obviously back-to-back base hits, but he had 2 outs, so he was able to get the line out to get out of it. You go back to the 3rd inning, huge. Got Josh Bell, one of the good young hitters in the game of baseball, to tap back to the mound, able to keep things in check right there. As always, making pitches in big spots, changing speeds, and getting that soft contact when it mattered most.
All right, Hendricks now with a 1.99. As I said, John Lester is second for the ERA leaders for the second half and for the season. Since the All-Star break, Lester the best ERA and Hendricks second. So you flip them. Look at those numbers. They are just ridiculous.
Oh, they absolutely are. It's been so much fun to watch these two guys go head-to-head, and goodness gracious, Jake Arrieta, part of it. I mean, I know where this is ultimately going. I know John has come out and said, and he certainly expressed his opinion on who he thinks the Cy Young Award winner in the National League is. This is a tough one, man. It really is. Both have just pitched so brilliantly all season long, particularly here in the second half. It's going to be a great race down to the wire.
All right. We will have a wild card update. Another team has clinched a division. We'll tell you about all of it. Time for a break here on Cubs Post Game Live, presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield. We'll be right back.
Cubs Post Game Live is presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all.
are the Coors Brewing Company. And our mountain is brewing the world's most refreshing beer. A beer proud enough to wear our name in big, red, scripted letters. That's why we lager, filter, and package cold. Because we believe every climb deserves a refreshing finish. Whatever your mountain, climb on.
If it rains and it storms, you might lose TV. No shows tonight when there's snow or high winds or even hail. Kiss your shows goodbye.
We actually have Xfinity, so weather isn't a problem.
Don't get left behind with DirecTV. Xfinity gives you reliable TV service, rain or shine. Sign up today or get started with this great offer. Call or go online today.
Why jump out of a perfectly good airplane? Why not? Chicagoland Skydiving Center was voted the best in the U.S. with a perfect safety record, a one-of-a-kind environment, and round-trip shuttle service from downtown Chicago. Come experience the greatest adventure in the area. Chicagoland Skydiving Center in Rochelle. Visit us at perfectlygoodairplane.com.
Now playing on DirecTV Cinema.
We need to be put in check.
How long are you going to play both sides?
Do you really want to punch your way out of this?
You chose the wrong side. Keep telling yourself that.
Marvel's Captain America: Civil War. Rated PG-13.
Movies start at Channel 125.
Time now for Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing. Who's hot and who's not?
Hold on.
Take a look at a couple players' careers at PNC Park. Who's hot? How about Albert Pujols? 376 in 92 games, 30 bombs, 88 knocked in, and an 1170 OPS. Who's not? Wow, nice guy, but grossly overpaid. 198 batting average for Ryan Howard, 43 Ks, a 273 OBP, and hitting a 3 double plays. He has been brutal. All right, let's talk about Albert Almora. This is a guy that many believe will be the Cubs center fielder next year. We'll see how that plays out, but he had a good night tonight.
Yeah, he really did have a good night tonight. You know what? You know, that has been part of the September conversation, an opportunity for Almora, a few of the role players, guys off the bench, capitalizing on the opportunity to play. Great to see him tonight. 3 hits in the ball game. Had a couple runs scored, had a double, RBI. I just am impressed with this kid, have been all season long. I mean, he brings it every night, every time he gets a chance to play. Love to use the middle of the field. We'll go the other way. Just a real solid ball player, and I'm real happy for him to have a nice ball game again tonight, getting the opportunity to be in there. It matters. I mean, again, your manager's watching. I don't think anything's set in stone, and I say that I'm absolutely convinced of that. I still think there's some positional battles that are going on for this roster.
All right, time for the Honda winning box score. Thank you, Steve Johnson, one of our fine producers. Chris Coughlin, a 2 for 4 night, and a couple walks. Chris Bryant, 2 for 4 with that 2-run home run. Rizzo, a 2 for 3 night, had a double, scored a run, also walked. Contreras had a knock. I mean, only Addison Russell didn't have a hit in the lineup.
Addie, you've had a great season, Addie. Yeah, I mean, goodness gracious, it was piling on tonight. Though, as I said,
fight at the bat rack.
Right. I mean, again, we can pick out anybody. We can talk Baez again on Morrow. We just talked about him. How about Chris Coughlin there at the top of the lineup, getting the job done? Had a couple walks on base 4 times. Anthony Rizzo, obviously another nice ball game. The one other thing that I certainly would mention is just it. You know, when you see numbers like that, you always kind of get this sense that, you know, when you get into a game, you score some early runs, you score 4 runs in the 3rd inning, and next thing things get out of control against a Pirates team that's down on their luck right now. The at-bats can just kind of get away. Typically, offenses get more aggressive. You watch the younger players get opportunities. They come in, swing, 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 and you watch the game accelerate, right? We complain about this a little bit sometimes, but what this Cubs team does is their bats, they maintain themselves. They actually get longer. It really is incredible. I watched it. I think back to the Angels series at the beginning of the year. We talked about this. They're beating them out by 10 runs, and they're putting some of the best at-bats that they've got on the night late in the game. That is a great sign moving forward. That means you're not giving away at-bats, and you're taking each one very, very seriously, even in a game that's very lopsided.
You and I were on the phone yesterday, both stunned at the news that Jose Fernandez had been killed in Miami in a boating accident. They did not play yesterday. They played today. The Marlins and the Mets played tonight, had a very moving ceremony. All of the Marlins players wore number 16 Jose Fernandez jerseys. It was an emotional night at their new ballpark at Marlins Park. And this is Dee Gordon as he took center stage in Miami when the Mets finally got things rolling. Gordon put on Jose Fernandez's batting helmet, and when he came up to bat the first time, it was one for the ages. This is the pregame ceremony, a large crowd on hand, paying tribute to the late Jose Fernandez. And now here comes Dee Gordon to the plate. He puts on Fernandez's batting helmet, digs in from the right side of the plate. Now he's going to dig in from the left side of the plate. One was for Jose, one for him, and then he takes Bartolo Colon's 2-0 pitch into the seats and right for a solo shot. Marlins up 1-0. Emotional moment, and Dee Gordon gets to home plate. He is overcome with emotion. Miami leads by 4 in the next inning. Gordon up again, laces one up the middle. That plates another run. Marlins win 7-3, but it was an emotional evening.
It really was, and I give an awful lot of credit to the Mets in this ball game. The Mets are in obviously a very interesting situation. You know, they come into Miami. The Marlins are dealing with the tragic loss of Jose Fernandez, and I watched a lot of this ball game while we were watching the Cubs game again tonight. Mets players were doing a really, really good job consoling them, even though they were down in this ball game. That's one thing that just really did amaze me. It stood out. I was watching Jose Reyes, and guys had arms around Marlins players. Guys were having moments during this game, breaking down. You saw a couple teary-eyed Marlins players in the middle of game action, and Mets players, even when they were kind of scoring some runs or even putting it out there, and they're busy losing, but they had guys on the base. I just saw the Mets just really, really classy. I thought it was real impressive how everybody handled themselves in this situation. The Mets are playing, you know, we're showing this highlight not just because of Jose Fernandez and his loss, but the Mets are a wild card contender. I mean, that's the other part of this, and yet in this situation, I thought they did a real nice job handling themselves.
All right, let's take a look at the updated wild card standings. The Cardinals are about to lose. They are down 15-2 at home to the Cincinnati Reds in the bottom of the 9th inning. So they are going to fall. It's hard to believe. We'll see. The Giants have today off. The Mets maintain their half-game advantage. The Cardinals will fall a full game back in these standings. Hard to believe of the San Francisco Giants. We'll be right back. Cubs post-game live presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield. Continue.
Cubs Post-Game Live is brought to you by your local Kia dealers. Visit mykiachicago.com to learn more.
Comparing midsize sedans? Here's what puts the Kia Optima ahead of the Nissan Altima. The Kia Optima has an available surround view monitor and turbo engine. The Nissan Altima does not. The 2016 Kia Optima is a KBB.com Best Buy Award winner. The Nissan Altima came up short there, too. Discover the next generation Optima. It's not your average midsize sedan. Hurry in during Kia's fall savings time and lease the Optima LX for $179 a month or get 0% financing.
If it rains or it storms, you might lose TV. No shows tonight when there's snow or high winds or even hail. Kiss your shows goodbye.
We actually have Xfinity, so weather isn't a problem.
Don't get left behind with DirecTV. Xfinity gives you reliable TV service, rain or shine. Sign up today or get started with this great offer. Call or go online today.
Our mountains challenge us, push us back, knock us down, tell us it can't be done. But then, one day you reach the summit, and you realize the harder the climb, the better the reward. Coors Light. Whatever your mountain, climb on.
Today, we're talking about automotive awards. What if I told you there was a car company that received all of these awards?
One company, one award in all these? Chevy.
Chevrolet is the most awarded car company of the last 2 years.
I love it. I'm just going to stay in here. Is that okay?
Qualified lessees can get this Chevy Cruze for around $169 a month. Plus, find your tag to get an additional $500 lease cash on select Cruze vehicles in stock. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
Fields Auto Group built Joe Madden a signature Madden vehicle with a unique baseball theme. Holly and I have seen it. It's awesome. In October, the 4x4 Jeep will be raffled off. To find out how to get raffle tickets for this event, visit fieldsauto.com. Folks, it's awesome. Trust me. All right, time for our Blue Cross Blue Shield key to the game. Holly time.
Well, it wasn't time to get crazy. Honestly, I was just thinking 100. Chris Bryant took care of things. My whole thing was just get to 100 wins. I thought it was a great goal. I mean, there's a lot of different ways you can attack it. We could talk a little Kyle Hendricks, but to me, the overall play of the team is so important this week, knowing that we're leading into an extended break. Obviously, before the division series, we've got those wild card games that are going to lead us to the division series, and you're going to have a little bit of a break. So you want to make sure that everybody's playing through this, that everybody's swing is where it needs to be. So 100 was important tonight, and Chris Bryant got it done.
Here's how 100-win teams have fared in the World Series since 1903. From 03 to 68, when there were no division, baseball had 46 100-win teams. 24 of them won the World Series. It's just over 52%. From 69 to 93, when each league had 2 divisions, there were 25 100-win teams. Only 8 won it all, 32%. Since baseball went to 3 divisions and added the wild card, there have been 22 100-win teams. Just 2 have won it all. The Cubs are now the 23rd with 100.
Yeah, and you see that 9%. It's exactly what I just said, like how important this week is. What do we know? What's the biggest difference in that board that we see right there? It's the wild card. I can speak to it firsthand. I mean, when you're a team that has to play like your hair's on fire in September, there is an advantage to that. You don't worry about fatigue. Your mind's, you're just worried about winning baseball games. See, the Cubs don't have that challenge in front of them. That's why they have to stay sharp. I hate referencing the Colorado Rockies from a few years ago, but it was the greatest example, I think, of this that we've seen. It was the team that stormed through September, rallied, played the best baseball that we had seen, honestly, maybe in a decade, and then had to take a week off before the World Series and got smoked by the Boston Red Sox. I mean, that says it all. I mean, you want to maintain your rhythm. The one thing that baseball players need is consistency and consistent production, and going out there and even in some regards going through the routine just a little bit helps keep them ready.
All right, our next game starter, and you'll get the game tomorrow night right here on Comcast Sports. That John Lackey will go to the bump for the Chicago Cubs as he tries to stay razor sharp and get ready to go probably in Game 4 if there is one in the NLDS.
Yeah, much of the same. I expect him to attack the strike zone, work the ball in and out against this Pirates team. Cubs are rolling right now. They're playing really good baseball. I want to keep the story moving in the right direction. You might get to the point now where you see Joe Madden start to manage his guys just a little bit. I'm not sure you're going to see how many more 7, 8-inning starts. Kyle Hendricks tonight, 6 innings. You might start to see that kind of dial itself back down just a little bit as you might get some guys a blow. But we'll see again. John back in the rotation, throwing the ball particularly well, and they're playing against Pittsburgh Pirates right now in Pittsburgh. They got a lot to accomplish as far as just piling up the wins.
All right, we will pick up the Sox-Rays game next here. Also, the Cleveland Indians have just clinched the American League Central with a 7-4 win in Detroit tonight, so they have a division title. All right, thank you for watching Cubs Postgame Live presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield. Holly and I with you for postgame tomorrow. We will see you tomorrow. Cubs win. They have 100 victories. Chris Bryant has 101 RBI. See ya.
In case you need anything, just give me a call.
P.O. Box 17. Of course I'm a real company.
You got the area code.
Everything your customers see tells a story. Let the UPS store help you tell the right one. From business cards and banners to expertly packed shipments to mailboxes with a real street address. Come in today for help.
The Honda Take Home a CR-V sales event is here with incredible deals. Loaded with standard features like Pandora compatibility, a multi-angle rear view camera, and plenty of cargo space. It's no wonder the CR-V was named Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com Best Buy for 2016. Hurry into the Honda Take Home a CR-V sales event and get a great deal today.
Now playing on DirecTV Cinema before it's available on Netflix or Redbox.
In December 1977, paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren experienced a phenomenon no one could explain. Witness the event that shocked the world. The Conjuring 2.
Movies start at Channel 125.
I had an excellent car buying experience with a seamless transaction. 5 stars.
My salesperson was as good as it gets. She made the experience comfortable and relaxed.
These are the reviews we get all of the time from our customers at Bill Jacobs Mini. As soon as you walk through the door, you'll know this is going to be different because our people make the difference. At Bill Jacobs Mini in Naperville, it's the cars that bring you in, but the experience that brings you back. Get 0% APR for 72 months and $1,800 cash back on a new 2016 Mini Countryman. Details at BillJacobsMini.com.
Infinity high-speed action replay. And James Shields has had quite a night. Threw the ball very well. 6 innings, 1 run, 7 hits, a couple of walks, 6 strikeouts. If this holds up, and you would expect that it would, James will win for the first time in just about 2 months. There you look at the numbers. He was very impressive in his 108 pitches. And now Juan Minaya comes in to try to nail it down with a 6-run lead. And for the 9th time, ERA 1.04.
We welcome those of you watching our game after taking in the Cubs victory earlier. Thanks for stopping on by. The Sox are up 7-1 here in the 9th inning. Couple of home runs the last few times at bat for the Sox. Still 0-2 on Bobby Wilson. Tampa Bay got its lone run in the 4th inning. Briefly, this game was tied at 1, but the Sox countered with a run in the home 4th. And Omar Narvaez's sacrifice fly gave the Sox the lead for good. Little did we know at the time. 2 strikes from Minaya. 1-2. Sox trying to get to 9 over at home this year. Be a 42-33 home record with a win tonight. 3 outs away as there is ball 2. Tommy Kahnle went 2/3 of an inning. Dan Jennings got 1 out. Then Nate Jones, 1 scoreless 8th. 2-2 on Wilson from Minaya. In the air, right side. Carlos Sanchez squeezes out number 1.
You're probably asking yourself, what does the upcoming schedule look like?
Steve, what's the upcoming schedule look like?
Well, our PNC Bank, our friendly PNC bankers are going to tell us. It's 3 more here with the Tampa Bay Rays. And then Brian Dozier and the Minnesota Twins come to town for the Swan Song.
One of the home run leaders in Major League Baseball out of nowhere, Brian Dozier.
That's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yeah. We'll be here. You'll be here. Let's make a thing of it.
I'll be here.
Fly ball from Forsythe. Back to right field, Avi. Yes, sir. 2 down.
Long run as that ball slicing away from him, but he was able to make the catch. Forsythe hits it well. quite well enough on a cool night at the ballpark, and Avi makes the catch.
And makes friends with the fence. 2 down for Dickerson. This would be the first Rays inning without a base runner since the second. And they've only got 1 run to show for it. It's outside, ball 1 to Dickerson, who's been on base 3 times tonight. Hit by a pitch, singled, and walked after a first inning strikeout. On 1-0 from Minaya. We'll do 1-1. Now, James Shields meant so much to the Rays, talking to their radio announcers, the fine pair of Andy Freed and Dave Wills. They said, look, James Shields, even more than some others, may have been the most important pitcher in Rays history so far.
Well, he was the leader of that staff.
Even more than David Price. They said, look, he was the guy that set that tone, as you see Dave and Andy. At least one of them's talking. That's good news.
Dave Wills on the right.
I think they're having microphone issues.
Andy on the left. Well, they can just go with the video.
A wonderful tandem that they have in Tampa. 1-2. Minaya. Foul ball. That radio telestrator is still yet to be invented.
But when it is, we're going to be right there.
Oh yeah, the capital will be flowing from this booth. Ball and 2 strikes. Minaya to Dickerson. 2 out. Top 9. One more pitch.
Tried to bury a slider and end it.
Two. Top 9. Fly ball, center field. Garcia. And that'll do it. Series opener goes to the Sox. 7-1 tonight.
It was nice to see James Shields throw a good ball game. He did that, and they got enough offense. A couple of home runs. Morneau with a 2-run shot. Sanchez with a 2-run shot. And that's all it took to win the first of the final homestand of the year. So I will be right back and see you tomorrow night.
That sounds like a plan. See you then.
Yep.
Sox win 7-1. For our director, Jim Angio, producer Todd Benjaminson, associate producer Dave Ross, tech manager Mark Harper, and the executive producer Jim Corno Jr. He's Steve Stone. I'm Jason Benetti. So long from U.S. Cellular Field. Coming up next, Subaru Postgame Live. Sierra and Bill have it for you. And you've been watching Chicago White Sox baseball on Comcast Sportsnet. Good night.
We actually have Xfinity, so weather isn't a problem.
Don't get left behind with DirecTV. Xfinity gives you reliable TV service, rain or shine. Sign up today or get started with this great offer. Call or go online today.
Play hard, party hard. That's what I tell my players. When it's time to celebrate, I shop at Binny's Beverage Depot. Binny's is the official champagne provider of the Chicago Cubs. And like I coach the guys, if you can't find it at Binny's, it's probably not worth drinking.
We didn't just break the mold, we made it. And we spelled it L-I-T-E. Because when you invent light beer, you get to spell it however you want. Spelled different because it's brewed different.
When a moment turns romantic, why pause to take a pill? or stop to find a bathroom. Cialis for daily use is approved to treat both erectile dysfunction and the urinary symptoms of BPH, like needing to go frequently, day or night. Tell your doctor about all your medical conditions and medicines and ask if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain or Adempus for pulmonary hypertension, as it may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Do not drink alcohol in excess. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. To avoid long-term injury, get medical help right away for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease or loss in hearing or vision, or any symptoms of an allergic reaction, stop taking Cialis and get medical help right away. Ask your doctor about Cialis and a $200 savings card.
Closed captioning of White Sox baseball on Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you by U.S. Waterproofing.
A little seepage in your basement is no need to panic. Count on the experts at U.S. Waterproofing to diagnose and repair the problem.
For a free consultation, visit uswaterproofing.com. A better basement starts with us. White Sox baseball on CSN Chicago is brought to you in part by your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Honda dealers, as reliable as the cars themselves. Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. Ford, inviting you to check out their fuel-efficient lineup at your local Ford store or at localfordstores.com. Menards, save big money at Menards. And by your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. This is White Sox Postgame Live, presented by Subaru.
And that's a long fly ball from Morneau to right field and gone.
7 runs on 11 hits for the White Sox, including that 2-run homer by Justin Morneau that put the White Sox up for good. They get their first win of this final 7-game homestand. Final score from this one, 7-1. And with that, we welcome you into Subaru White Sox Postgame Live. Alongside Bill Melton, I'm Sierra Santos filling in for Chuck Garfien. James Shields, like we have not seen him in a while. He gets through the first 3 innings without a run, and more importantly, an outing with 0 long balls against a Rays team that ranks 3rd in the league in home runs. What'd you like from Shields tonight?
He kept it out of the strike zone. I think that's how you get young hitters. He didn't know most of these hitters. Longoria is the only one that he played with when he was with Tampa Bay. All the rest of them, I don't believe he's really faced them. So I think they were taken back a little bit by that breaking ball he had. He had a good one. They swung at a lot of balls in the dirt, which is good. Young guys generally do that, and he fed off of that. The next inning, he kept doing the same thing. So, you know, the Rays are having a tough time, not hitting home runs, but they're having a tough time, you know, trying to get a good offense together. And I thought James did a good job. And that was one of the biggest concerns coming into this game. Let's get to our UPS store taking care of business player of the game, and it is none other than James Shields, who came into this game without a win in exactly 2 months. He ended up pitching his way out of 2 different situations. So really, Shields gave up a walk and a double in the first and then retired the side in the second. Well, if you see right here, what you're seeing is a lot of pitches out of the strike zone. That's why he's getting these guys check swinging right there. There's a ball that comes back on the inside corner. There's a ball that sinks out of the strike zone. So he stayed away. There's a breaking ball that bounces, but it looks like it's hittable, but it breaks so much it goes down. That's what happens with young hitters. So he didn't give him anything out over the middle of the plate that he's done against some other teams. So he kept it away from them. They were young, and that's what you have to do. If you take a look at this, the first and second innings are where he's really found trouble, and he got out of these first 2 unscathed, which is a good sign. You look at these numbers, he's getting up 47 hits and 17 home runs in the first and second. Both innings with ERAs around 10, but let's skip to where he got out of trouble in the first. And maybe those in the fourth, and maybe those first 2 innings were somewhat of a confidence booster, because he came in, and when he didn't get into trouble, he was able to get his way out of a jam. You know, a lot of guys, a lot of pitchers, you know, no matter how good they are, whether it's Chris Sale, Quintana, Rodon, or any of them, have a tough time, you know, trying to get the strike zone down right away, coming out of the bullpen. The bullpen is the same height as this mound, same distance, same everything, but all of a sudden you got a batter up there now that's going to unload on you, and you know, you pitch a little bit different. You try to get a feel for it. A lot of guys with a good changeup really don't find it till the 2nd or 3rd inning, but the second time through the lineup is the problem I think James has also had. And you know what? Today you know, he did a good job right there. I'm not real sure about that right there.
Yeah, that throwing error, he was still able to finish out the inning, though, and only give up the one run.
See that slider right there? It's out of the strike zone. There's that turnover coming back on the inside corner. He had a lot of movement, wasn't giving them anything out over the plate. They were young guys. They were aggressive. And he can do that with a good ball club, too. You know, they don't have to be young like this. You just don't want to give them a lot to hit.
Yeah, in the 6th inning, he also halted the Rays from tacking on more runs. They tied it up in the 4th, but then it was 3-1, and he was able, after back-to-back singles, he gets a pop out, and then strikes out. So
that was a change. Yeah, that was a change of speed. I didn't mean to cut you off, but anytime you see pop-ups like that on big right-handed hitters or left-handed hitters, that's the bad timing. That's what made James Shields so successful tonight. Change speeds, a lot of breaking balls out of the strike zone.
Do you feel, though, you know, you see his body language change when he does end up giving those long balls in the early innings? You see his body language and his demeanor completely change, but you never really saw that falter because he was able to get out of the first couple. Do you think it was just a matter of, hey, if he starts strong, he can finish strong?
Well, first of all, he's very animated on the mound. Have you noticed?
Yes.
I've never seen a pitcher so animated, spin around. He used to do that about 5 years ago or 6 years ago with Kansas City and stuff, but not that animated. So to me, it's more like it looks like he's uncomfortable out there. He isn't. It's something that he's added to his pitching repertoire, which is really, that's how he finishes pitches. There's not much you can do about it. I just think, you know, he stayed, again, out of the strike zone, which means not the 90-mile-an-hour fastball right down the middle, and kept them off balance, because when you change speeds, you have a tendency with younger hitters to get pop-ups. Veteran hitters will probably lay back a little bit. A young hitter sees it and goes out and tries to get it, and you see a lot of pop-ups and weak ground balls.
Well, we are smack dab in the middle of Subaru White Sox post-game live. Coming up on the other side, we will hear from Robin Ventura about James Shields' performance, his first win in 2 months.
White Sox Post-Game Live is presented by Subaru. Confidence in motion.
Whoa! You're not taking these.
Hey. You're not taking those.
Whoa. You're not taking that. Come with me.
You're not taking that.
You're not taking that.
You're not taking that.
Mom, I'm taking the Subaru.
Don't be late. Even when we're not there to keep them safe, our Subaru Outback will be.
Love. It's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
Dirty old furnace. Call Four Seasons.
Dirty furnace? Clean it up with a Four Seasons furnace tune-up. Lower utility bills, increase furnace lifespan, and guarantee a breakdown-free season for only $89.95.
For all the right reasons, call 866 Four Seasons.
You feel better about the food on your table when you know the meat is sourced from family farmers and is spiced using handcrafted seasonings. That's why our family is proud to provide the variety you want at your deli, including no antibiotics ever and organic meats. This is what we were founded on. Because at Dietz & Watson, we've always believed in quality above all else.
I refuse to let myself be limited. I walk the walk of a man who isn't afraid to wear floral. I don't want to just look at the man in the mirror. I want to know who he is. It's me. I'm comfortable in my own skin, but a man can't walk in public in his skin alone. In the end, you can't waste any time thinking about the end. Wear what you want to wear. Just don't wear any doubts.
Hello? This is she.
Is that the doctor?
Okay, wow, really? It's two? That's great news, thank you.
It's two?
Yes, it's two. It's 2 for 1 windows at Feldco.
Feldco is offering 2 windows for the price of 1, with no money down and no interest for 1 year.
2 windows for the price of 1 ends Friday. Hurry. Call now.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Feldco.
Time now for Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing. Who's hot, who's not in September? Hanley Ramirez is hot. Take a look at that. 341 batting average, 10 home runs, 26 RBI. And who is not? Caleb Joseph, 1 for 18 in the month of September. And now it's time to hear from Robin Ventura in our Xfinity post-game press conference.
What was working for James tonight compared to some other starts?
No, he just seemed to be working, against righties. He had it working on the first base side. It just seemed to ride on him. He got a little more carry to it, which makes his breaking stuff better, makes his changeup better. Just seemed like he had a nice carry to it. And, being able to locate is always going to be a big for him, but it just looked like he had a little something extra on it.
I know it would have been a combined thing, and he's not going to have it happen now, but this 20 losses still something doesn't mean anything. I mean, it used to be kind of out there, but
I guess it used to be, but he's going out. He's still competing. I don't think that's really in the back of his mind that's a bigger deal than to go out and win a game. He's not thinking of the losing end of it. He's just thinking of going out and winning a game and contributing. So he's pro enough to do that.
How big was your defense? I mean, how big did it make?
Double plays are always. That's going to be the pitcher's best friend, and we turned a few today, especially in some key spots that really eliminated a lot of their chances.
The 20, not to belabor, but the 20 losses is kind of a weird thing because you have to be good enough to kind of keep going out there to lose 20 games, right? I mean, is it kind of a weird stat? That
it's fair. I mean, nobody wants to be on it. I know that, but yeah, I mean, the guy he still has to be going out there and have enough chances to be able to do it. So it's one nobody really wants to be on. I know he doesn't either.
A little bit of a cool night. Were you surprised to see the ball carry with guys like Carlos and Morneau's got
he's
power?
Got a little pop. It'll carry to left field. A night like tonight, it'll carry to left field. But we've seen it. It's not one of those real cold nights where it's not carrying. But it's not one of the warm nights where anything they hit goes out.
Time now for our Honda winning box score, and who is really getting it done? Justin Morneau, 2 for 3 with 3 RBI. Omar Narvaez also chipping in with another 2-run homer. Jose Abreu, 2 for 3. And we can't talk about this game without talking about Melky Cabrera, who has been super hot in September. He gets started with this in the first inning. That would result in a double, and he would eventually score. Then you got Abreu, his single, which scored him, and then the Morneau sac fly. That was his 23rd RBI this season. Is it good to see them getting on the board so early in the game?
Yeah, it is, but the question is, they've got on the board before, and they've given it right back. Shields was able to hold them down. It's just good to see, Milky's Milky. Milky's been the same way for 5 or 6 months. He's a good switch hitter. He hits to all fields, hits a lot of doubles in the gap. One of the better, it's one of the guys you want up at the plate besides Abreu right now with runners in scoring position in a tight game. I'll take Milky or Abreu right away, but he's done a good job in left field. He's got a good, strong, accurate arm, and again, one of the most consistent hitters that we've had all year.
Just looking at his September numbers with 24 games, 323 batting average, 14 runs, 4 home runs, and another guy who has been getting it done, Todd Frazier, here in the 4th inning. He doubles to right. That's his 20th double of the season. We didn't see that a whole lot in the beginning of the season, but towards the latter end, he's been chipping in the way he can.
Well, what he's doing is he's driving in runs, he's hitting home runs, and that's the most important thing right there. And again, he likes to steal those bases. He'll sneak up on you, so you got to be careful when he's on. But most importantly, the extra base hits is something that was Cincinnati, at a smaller ballpark. He used to hit about 40 of them. I think he had 40 or 41. And, for us, he had about 8 or 9 for such a long period of time. Right now, he's getting the feel maybe of American League pitching.
Yeah, and here you look at his 10-game hitting streak. This is a season high for him. Entering today, he had a .412 batting average with the 9-game hitting streak, and then it lowers a little bit to .395, but still awfully hot in this last span of games. And it's really been an emotional few days in baseball with the loss of Marlins pitcher Jose Fernandez. Many teams around the league honoring the two-time All-Star in their own special ways. Here before the game, Alexei Ramirez hung up his fellow countryman's jersey in the Tampa Bay dugout. I had the chance to talk with Alexei earlier today about Fernandez, and I asked him, we talk about this impact in the Cuban community. Is it really that big of a deal? And he said 100%.
Oh, absolutely.
It is that big of a deal. He also mentioned that about a few weeks ago, he had talked to him. He said he had a 15-minute conversation with him, and the impact is not just felt in Miami. He said it's felt in every community across every community.
Well, he tried to get out of Cuba 3 different times and got sent back. These countrymen have a lot in common. They've all had families in the history of the family not being good, maybe coming across in the boats, who knows. They don't get to see their family a lot of the time, so they have to bond. It's almost like, I'll go down to Venezuela. When I played in Venezuela, I bonded with the 3 American guys on the team.
Sure.
It was automatic. Those are the guys I could communicate with. So they have a long history and stories. They all know what they all went through. We don't appreciate what they went through, so I think you see the bonding that way. Plus, this kid Hernandez was one of the happiest guys in the world out there. He's 24 years old. That's not good.
All right, well, Marlins second baseman Dee Gordon took center stage when Miami and the Mets finally got things rolling. Here you see everyone with their signs paying tribute to him. And Gordon, look at this, puts on Jose Fernandez's batting helmet, digs in from the right side for one pitch. He then switches over to the left side. He changes helmets, and then he belts this Bartolo Colon offering into the seats for a solo shot. So the Marlins go up 1-0. An incredibly emotional moment for Gordon and the entire team. So Miami leads by 4 in the next inning. Gordon up again. This time he laces one up the middle. That plates another run. Marlins win 7-3, and it took him a couple minutes to get through the entire line of teammates who were waiting there to give him a hug. And he apparently was wearing sunglasses the entire day, Dee Gordon, because he was just so emotional throughout batting practice, throughout practice. He couldn't contain himself.
Well, the reason you can is because it makes you understand what type of person Hernandez was and how much he was loved by his teammates. Don't get me wrong, all teammates are loved, but this guy was pretty special in that Miami community. That's a big selling point with the Miami Marlins, is to have a Cuban player like that be as good as he was. I mean, this guy was unhittable. I mean, he had 2 All-Star games. He was pretty close for the Cy Young a couple of times. I mean, he had electric stuff. Then he went through arm surgery at a very young age, had Tommy John, and to come back and throw just as well and to accomplish even more, that's pretty special when you're 24 years old.
Absolutely an emotional win for the Marlins tonight. And still to come on the show, we are getting to much more. We are going to talk about Chris Sale and tomorrow's matchup with Alex Cobb.
When you were 8, you wanted to fly. When you were 13, to be a rock star. At 20, an artist. All these years later, you realize you had it right the first time. The 2016 Q50 from Infiniti. Lease the all-wheel drive Infiniti Q50 2-liter turbo for $319 a month, or finance at 0% APR at your Chicagoland Infiniti retailer.
Did you just see that? That was awesome.
We have to try it.
Okay. Okay, mine's not working.
Maybe you have to bump it.
Oh yeah, do the bump it thing.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
You can take money out using the BMO Harris app.
You want to buy a hairless cat? There's a pet store down the street.
Cool.
I think she said BMO Harris app.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
When your phone is your debit card, that's the BMO effect. BMO Harris Bank. We're here to help.
What's it like to be the boss of you? Pretty great. How about a 10% raise? How about 20? How about done? That's the kind of control I like.
And that's what they give me at National Car Rental. I can choose any car in the aisle I want without having to ask anyone. Who better to be the boss of you than me? I mean, you. Us. Go National. Go like a pro.
The old dorm, if these walls could talk.
Stop hammer time.
I
think the wall is talking.
MC Hammer? He can't touch this. And when you're hanging in the dorm, you shouldn't touch this or this. Here, use command hooks instead. Hold strong, damage-free. Just peel, stick, and ta-da! Then when school is out, stretch command hook off and ta-da! Ta-da!
Legit.
Still legit.
Oh.
What's happening?
Command, do no harm.
If it rains and it storms, you might lose TV. No shows tonight. When there's snow or high winds, or even hail, kiss your shows goodbye.
We actually have Xfinity, so weather isn't a problem.
Don't get left behind with DirecTV. Xfinity gives you reliable TV service, rain or shine. Sign up today or get started with this great offer. Call or go online today.
Time now for our Subaru Keys to the Game recap. And how about James Shields tonight? He only gave up 1 run, gets his first win in exactly 2 months. You said for him, it was all about his command.
Well, it really was. But, you know, when you talk about a key, tamping down the home run, that's what he did, man. He tamped it right in the ground. They didn't get any. That's why he won. The Rays are, you know, third in the American League with 213 home runs, and James Shields is #1 and coughing them up. So just goes to tell you how big a game that was and how his ball, I think Robin explained it best, had a little velocity when he needed it, was able to throw that breaking ball, keep him off balance, and keep it out of the strike zone. So there it is, tampa down the home runs, and they did it.
Do you think it also helped that it was a little bit cooler tonight?
You could raise the temperature. No, that's tomorrow's key. What would I?
Okay. We're already thinking about it. Okay,
No.
The Sox and Rays back on the field tomorrow. Let's take a look at tomorrow's probables. Sale leads the majors with 6 complete games. His last outing in Philly, though, Bill, not so hot. He took the loss, earning 6 runs on 7 hits. Alex Cobb gets the start for the Rays, and it's a guy the Sox aren't exactly that familiar with. He's only had 1 career start against them. That
We
was a while ago.
don't do it well against guys if we've never seen him. But Chris Sale, that was a bit of a shocker to me against the Philadelphia Phillies. He's a little upset. You know, Chris doesn't let that eat at him. He doesn't like it because it eats at him. So I think he's going to come out blazing. I don't know a lot of the Tampa Bay hitters except for Longoria. I don't know. When Chris is on, he's going to make it really tough on him. I think he's a little upset. I think he's going to be fine.
All right, that's going to do it for us. Thanks for watching Subaru White Sox Postgame Live. For Bill Melton, I'm Sierra Santos filling in for Chuck Garfine. Be at the game tomorrow.
Mom? I have to tell you something.
Dad. 1 second I was driving, and then the next...
They just didn't stop, and then... I'm really sorry.
I wrecked the Subaru. You wrecked it. You're okay. That's all that matters.
A lifetime commitment to getting them home safely. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
If it rains and it storms, you might lose TV. No shows tonight. When there's snow or high winds, or even hail, kiss your shows goodbye.
We actually have Xfinity, so weather isn't a problem.
Don't get left behind with DirecTV. Xfinity gives you reliable TV service, rain or shine. Sign up today or get started with this great offer. Call or go online today.
Have a lot of friends? Well, then treat your friends like royalty with our Ashton sectional. All 4 pieces, only $12.99. Outstanding style with contrasting piping. Outstanding comfort with Bobopedic memory foam seating. And 9 accent pillows. All 4 pieces, only $12.99. Or this way, only $7.99. Only at Our Bob's Discount Furniture. Ah, this is the life, right, guys?
It sure is. You're the best, little Bob. Official furniture store of the Chicago Bears.
Update your bathroom with an American-made toilet by Mansfield from Menards. The ProFit Standard Round Toilet is $59 after rebate, and this Summit Complete Toilet includes everything you need in one box. Only $149. Give your bathroom a new look with a Pace Vanity. The 24-inch Charleston Vanity is $159, or get the 36-inch Murano Vanity for $219. Find this and more during Menards Made in the USA sale.
Save big money at Menards.
Comparing midsize sedans? Here's what puts the Kia Optima ahead of the Nissan Altima.
The Kia Optima has an available surround view monitor and turbo engine. The Nissan Altima does not. The 2016 Kia Optima is a KBB.com Best Buy Award winner. The Nissan Altima came up short there, too. Discover the next generation Optima. It's not your average midsize sedan. Hurry in during Kia's fall savings time and lease the Optima LX for $179 a month or get 0% financing.
White Sox Postgame Live is brought to you in part by your local Kia dealers. Visit mykiachicago.com to learn more.
The bad thing about the first 3 games is we haven't put a complete game together. This game's only fun when you win. You know, it's not a whole lot of fun when you lose. I joke, even in the media, it's, you know, crisis or carnival. You know, thrill of victory, agony of defeat. It's frustrating. I'd rather be 3-0 if you're asking me. But that's not reality. So, you know, we'll just strap it up, get ready for next week.
Well, let us hope the agony of defeat doesn't become a weekly occurrence for John Fox and the Bears. Time for the coach, Dave Wanstead, to take us inside the huddle following that 31-17 loss down in Big D. A number of key players, especially on the defensive side, were out because of injuries, and Dallas took full advantage of the Bears' shortcomings on that side of the ball.
Yeah, they did, and they did it early. You know, I mean, obviously, this game was completely opposite of the first 2, where the Bears came out and started strong and then just couldn't finish the second half. This game, the Cowboys came out and hit first, you know, made the big plays first, and then the Bears were playing catch up behind. So 2 different scenarios. I guess the positive would be coming out of this thing that they did finish moving the ball some and putting a few points on the board.
Well, now the challenge for the coaching staff is keeping the players positive, try to come up with the best game plan to give the team a chance to win. Here's John Fox discussing the state of the locker room after the disappointing 0-3 start.
I think we're centered fine. I think, you know, the way we responded in the second half of that game, I think is a bit of an indicator. I know the result is not what you're looking for. I think in the first 3 games of this year, we've been, you know, throwing some tough cards as far as lineups in each one of these games. And you just grow and learn from each one of those opportunities. We have a young football team. I have some new guys that are new to our systems, even more so now with some of the injuries. You know, so, you know, all you can do, nobody comes and rescues you. They don't cancel the rest of the season. You know, you just got to find a way. It's execution, and it's execution, you know, in all 3 phases, whether it's the first half or the second half. You know, they're 2 equal times, and you have to put a complete game together, and we have not done that through the first 3 games.
Well, it's now 2 years in a row John Fox's teams have started out 0-3. Unfortunately, you've experienced that situation in the past. What's it like for you to talk to the players, most importantly, about how to keep their attitudes positive?
Well, the good news is that they're a young football team to begin with because of turning over a lot of the roster. And then on top of it, you compound that with injuries, and now who's going to take their place and who's going to get an opportunity? It's young players again. And young football players, I mean, from a coaching standpoint, they want to be coached. They see this as an opportunity. They're not hearing all the noise outside from the media and fans about record and chances for playoffs and all that stuff that goes along with being 0-3. They're focused on, hey, I'm going to get an opportunity to play. I want to make this roster, and I'm going to make a name for myself. So I think from a practice standpoint and a preparation standpoint, you know, as long as they're pointing out the positive things and they, you know, and John does a good job of that, keeps everybody kind of focused but in an upbeat way, they're going to be ready to play again this week.
Well, John Fox is a veteran coach. The toughest thing is probably trying to express yourself to the media. I imagine when you're sitting in your office, the media relations comes up and goes, it's time for the news conference. You're going, do I have to?
You know what? Half the media guys, you know, now I'm one of them. So, I mean, I have a lot of expressions for past media guys. Okay, we don't know. This isn't the show for that. That would have to be on the lighter side. But at the end of the day, from a football standpoint, the thing that the Bears got to do, you know, defensively, you come out of that game and you say, how can they convert so many third downs early on? Well, I mean, you got to have some negative plays. They had 1 tackle for loss and 0 sacks the whole game. That's not going to create bad plays for the opponent. And then on offense, we just showed the highlight. Brian Hoyer misses the handoff on the running back, and then they had a few penalties and some turnovers. So on both sides of the ball, they're not giving themselves a clean chance to have the success that they want.
Well, your old friend Brad Palmer is now retired and down in Arizona. So, Brad, if you're watching, Coach misses you quite a bit.
Yeah, I got one for you too, Brad.
You mentioned Brian Hoyer. He led the team to a pair of second-half touchdowns, wound up passing for over 300 yards. But the offense really didn't do much while the game was on the line. Here's John Fox on the offensive performance so far by his team.
It's hit and miss just like us. Really at all 3 phases. I think there's been some positives. I don't think we've put a complete game together by any stretch. I think that's evident. Whether it's the run game, the run defense, the pass game, the pass defense, obviously none of it's been good enough.
How would you evaluate Dowell Loggins' first 3 weeks?
Like everybody, it's not good enough. I think that's no indictment on Dowell over anybody else. I don't think, any of us or, all our signatures are on it. It's 0-3.
Yeah, when a team is struggling, reporters will ask questions about just about everything, including the offensive coordinator, Dowell Loggins. As you'd expect, the Bears rank near the bottom in all the major offensive categories, and they're 30th out of 32 teams, and the only stat that really matters, that would be points. They're averaging just 15 through the first 3 weeks of the game. No easy solutions. You lose your starting quarterback in Jay Cutler. They've had some problems with building chemistry on the offensive line. Where do you start to get that offense more consistent?
You start by not halfway defeating yourself, and by that I mean the penalties, the turnovers. You got to go into a game. I remember my first year or two, I think with the Bears, might have been my second year, and Jay Lewinberg was our center at the time. Remember Jay? He came up, and afterwards he says, we won a game. I don't know who we beat. And he came up and says, Coach, we did it. I said, yeah, we won the game. He says, no, we had no penalties in this game, and we had no turnovers. And we won by 3 points. You know what I mean? But that was the only way we had a chance at that time, again, with a young football team. And so the Bears, they got to make sure that they play clean themselves on offense. And then it comes down to, like you say, get the offensive line kind of in sync. Now the running back position, I don't see him consistently running the ball quite as well this year. And maybe it is the offensive line as well as they did last year. So the running game for the style of offense, it's got to be a key, and right now it's not where it needs to be.
And they wanted to run the ball in Dallas, but they fell way behind. They had to go to the passing game, and things could get even worse on the offensive side of the ball. Adam Schefter is reporting that Jeremy Langford's ankle injury could keep him out 4 to 6 weeks, so obviously a pretty bad ankle sprain. Kadeem Carey did not make the trip to Dallas. He's sidelined with a hamstring problem. That means the Bears are down to the rookie Jordan Howard and a guy they picked up off the street recently, Raheem Mostert. So depth really an issue at running back.
You know what I did at Miami? We got in that situation. I called my quarterback in, Jay Fiedler. I says, guess what one of our 2 running plays are this week? Quarterback draw.
Oh, they love that, right?
So get ready, Hoyer. You may be carrying the ball some.
Well, it's time now for State Farm's Right Combination. We talked a lot about Brian Hoyer. He was able to connect with 7 different receivers Sunday night. His stats overall look good. 30 of 49, 317 yards. But let's be honest, a lot of those were in garbage time when the game was decided. Hoyer led the Texans to the playoffs a year ago after the team started out 2-5. He was asked after the game last night what the Bears can take away from a better second-half showing.
There's no, moral victories in this league, but I think for us, we came in, we said, look, we got 2 choices. We can either tank it in and try to get out here as fast as we can, or we can go out and just play the best we can, 1 play at a time, don't look at the scoreboard. And I think we did that to an extent, and you can build on that. There's guys that are willing to go out there and play and put it on the line when things aren't going real well. I think that's something that you can definitely build on.
Well, we're not sure when Jay Cutler will return from his thumb injury, but Brian Hoyer is a better-than-average NFL quarterback, and he showed some good leadership.
You know what, Mark? I agree with you. I was telling Jimmy Johnson and Bradshaw and the guys out there at Fox this weekend, I said, I listened to this guy's interviews all week, And I like what he said. I mean, he was looking forward to this opportunity. He was confident. He knew the challenge that they had. And then after the game, he stood up there and he was accountable. He said, you know what, I got to get better at this, and we can do this better. I just like his mindset right now. Is he a frontline quarterback? Obviously probably not. He's had 3 or 4 opportunities, but is he a guy you want on your team, and can he win some games for you? I believe so.
There's no question John Fox has a lot of confidence in Brian Hoyer. He said today at his news conference that there's no guarantee the Bears reel off a couple of wins that they don't stick with Brian Hoyer as the starting quarterback. One definite bright spot on the offensive side last night was the play of tight end Zach Miller. 8 catches, 78 yards, 2 touchdowns. So we are going with Miller as our Ankin-Law player of the game. Coach, he's been injured a lot during his NFL career, but when he's healthy, he has a real knack for finding those open spots, and he can make plays.
You know what, Zach, one year I was in Tampa, he was with us in Tampa there for training camp and then got hurt. But, everyone knows this was so good for him yesterday, for his psyche, because, everybody, their first impression was the one-handed catch last year in the end zone.
Yes.
Well, yesterday against the Cowboys, you were seeing right here, he's catching the ball in traffic. He's playing physical. He's holding on to the football. I mean, breaking a tackle right there. I mean, that was a whole different dimension from what we saw last year out of Zach Miller, and that's very encouraging to see. And, hey, there's no better security blanket for a new quarterback than to have your tight end be a possibility. Right here, great job of getting in the end zone and scoring a touchdown. So, overall, good performance.
He might not be the kind of blocker you'd like in the run game, but he is definitely a threat as a receiver. Well, the Bears come home next Sunday. They'll face the 1-2 Lions. Detroit came up with a big second-half rally to make things interesting late at Lambeau Field. But, Coach, this Lions team is hard to figure out. They've got some weapons on offense, but they seem to make critical mistakes at the worst times.
Yeah, they do. I don't know. Defensively, they're about where the Bears are at. Maybe a little bit better at this point. Not much, though. I wouldn't give them that. But offensively, I mean, Stafford's off to a big year, the quarterback. And they've added Anquan Bolden. Obviously, they got Marvin Jones is playing well for them. They got Golden Tate. So they got a really good group of receivers. And, they're right now 3rd in the NFL. They're scoring 27 points a game. So the Bears are facing the best offense, in my opinion, from where they're at right now, as compared to what they've seen all season.
And the Bears once again will be very short-handed on the defensive side of the ball Sunday afternoon. Up next, we head over to the touchscreen. Dave will give us a closer look at some of the key plays from the loss to the Cowboys, including second-year wide receiver Kevin White making his first statement in front of a national television audience. One heck of a catch there. Stay tuned. More Inside the Huddle coming up.
Vonage is here to help you connect. Always.
Hey, Mom.
Connect in more ways. Connect in new ways with a home phone that links to your smartphone.
Hey, Danny. Dad?
Vonage has created a new kind of home phone service so you can connect more and pay less. Talk all you want across the U.S., Canada, and Mexico on both your home and mobile phones for just $9.99 a month. That's 60% off for a full year. Plus, call home over Wi-Fi from anywhere in the world for free. Block unwanted callers forever with just a swipe. And when you can't pick up, you won't miss out. Thanks to Vonage Visual Voicemail. Get our best offer ever. 60% off for a full year and talk all you want for just $9.99 a month. Act now and get everything you need to get started free. That's $119 value. Connect more. Connect better. Connect now with Vonage.
Call 1-800-595-7953 or go to buyvonage.com.
Good or better? The Hyundai Tucson versus the Ford Escape. Estimated fueling costs, the Ford's higher. Estimated routine repairs, the Ford's higher.
What's happening?
In fact,
Guys?
Hyundai has the lowest 5-year cost to own of all brands for 2016.
Guys, very funny. Ha ha ha!
Better is the reason to buy Hyundai.
And this is the reason to buy now. Lease the Tucson for a limited time for only $179 a month. Visit buyhyundai.com.
Our involvement with Olivet started about 15 years ago when we were looking for a training camp. I knew Olivet was where we wanted to be. My journey going from ball boy when I was younger, and then now to be running a training camp at Olivet, that's something that I never imagined would happen. Olivet Nazarene University, from where you are to where you will be.
For injury law, the choice is simple. Ankin, 312-6-million.
Accept the Challenge is brought to you by Prudential. Bring your challenges.
Former Ohio State star Ezekiel Elliott was up to the challenge last night. How about 140 yards on 30 carries? He broke off a 21-yard gain on the very first play from scrimmage, letting the Bears know they were in for a long night, and that never really changed. Welcome back to Inside the Huddle. Coach, the Bears tried to stop the run with Buddy Ryan's 46 defense.
Yes.
The problem is Vic Fangio doesn't have the personnel that Buddy had back in the mid-'80s.
No, and you know what? The other thing, too, and let me just say this before we get started. The Cowboys have one of the best offensive lines in the NFL. We know that. They got a great tailback, young kid, Ezekiel Elliott, in the backfield. So Vic Fangio had to make a decision. Do we go into this game playing base, trying to cover everything and defense everything? Let's stop the run. Let's make this rookie quarterback, Dak Prescott, beat us. And that's what we're going to see right here. You know, the first play that we got up right here, and this is the 46 or the old Buddy Ryan Bear defense. And what we're going to see right here, obviously, is what they try to do in a Bear defense. They try to outnumber you. By outnumber, I'm talking about you get more guys on defense than what you get on offense. In this position right here, they got 7 defenders, and the Dallas Cowboys only have 6 blockers. Advantage defense. Now, what does that do? You should stop the run or force them to pass. When you do force them to throw the ball, there's only a couple coverages you can play. This is 1st and 10. The Bears are playing a coverage that they normally don't play much. This is a new defense. It's a little bit different. And they're playing a coverage right here that's just a zone coverage. And this guy right here, he's responsible for the deep third, and he's going to make sure he doesn't get beat deep. Again, it's 1st and 10. They want him to run the ball. Dallas comes out and throws the ball, gets the easy completion right there. And that happened a couple times. I don't know if Dallas was automatic into it right here. You can see the defense is set up. They're going to get good pressure on him. Play pass right there. Dallas protects it there. He's got a nice clean window right there to throw through. It's an easy throw and catch if you're going to throw the football.
Yeah, with no pressure on the quarterback, Dak Prescott was able to just sit back there and find wide open receivers. Bears still searching for some playmakers on defense. We just isolated the second-year cornerback Jacoby Glenn. He had 7 tackles, a pass defended, showed a lot of hustle on this play coming up.
He did. You know, initially off the line of scrimmage, the receiver does get by him, but he closes on him. And the best thing about this, for Bears fans, hey, you know what? Yeah, did the guy catch the ball? Is he going to make a play? But right here, I want to make a point that he gets this. I'm going to call this a baby peanut punch.
Okay.
A baby
they could use that.
Punch. It's not the old violent one with the peanut used, but right here, it's great effort. And again, you know, he gets a hand on the ball. I used to always tell my receivers and defense, and the guy causes the fumble is the one that you don't see. And right here, look at the offensive receiver. He's going to try to cut it back, and great play by the defender right there, getting his hand in there, stripping the ball. And look at the number of Bears chasing it. That's what I love. I mean, there's hustle. Right here, you see the strip. That means that they're not quitting. And we got 1, 2, 3, 4 guys on the football in position to pick up the fumble.
And that's Adrian Amos, the second-year safety, making the recovery. Well, the Bears did make an effort last night to get Kevin White more involved in the passing game. He was targeted 14 times, also made a highlight reel 32-yard grab. Nice to see the Bears making an effort to get White more involved. His catches and receiving yardage going up slightly, and this was a heck of a play.
It was, and we got to keep in mind, you know, last year everybody says, oh, he was drafted a year ago, he was here, this is his second year. It's easier said than done. If you're not out on the field doing it, which he wasn't, he's a rookie. You know, from West Virginia, and I love saying this, through Lackawanna Junior College. That's in Pennsylvania. Nice. I used to recruit.
I thought you were going to start singing a John Denver song.
No, right. No West Virginia, but I'll talk about Lackawanna. Okay, right here, you can see the pass is thrown up, and we're going to see this from the end zone. I'm going to make a good point right here. Get back to the huddle, Kevin. Don't be talking that West Virginia Pitt stuff. right here, this is the point that I want to make. The ball is thrown up in an area, and what you tell the receiver, if you can't catch it right here, you make sure, the defensive back, if he's not going to get it, you make sure that you knock that ball down. Well, this is great concentration. Everybody watch the eyes right here, okay? Watch Kevin White's eyes right here on the ball. The ball is tipped. He brings it back to himself, keeps focused on the football, and makes a fantastic catch. He should Mike Orver would make a catch like this every day in practice. He needs to be doing that every day in practice. Practice that, and you'll see more of these. Bear fans will when it's live competition in the game.
And he was mad at himself for dropping that long pass earlier from Brian Hoyer, which would have been a big gain. So it's nice to see he's very self-critical.
You know what's interesting about him and Jeffrey, both those receivers on the outside, they got speed, and they got size, and they got range. I think we're going to see a lot of the jump balls, as we call them, throw it up, and they got to go get it.
Almost heaven, West Virginia. Well, Jordan Howard became the Bears' feature back because of the injury that happened to Jeremy Langford. He had a great run to start things off last night.
He did, and I'm going to show you the defense here. And this is good blocking. I'm going to point something out right here. This is a different formation by the Bears, and what we call this right here, it's their heavy formation. And see the two guys right here? These two guys right here I'm not doing a good job there, but the two end guys are both tight ends lined up on one side. What does that do? It puts pressure on the Cowboy defense to either slide their front or make a check and an adjustment. They don't do a very good job of it. They come out right here. The Bears, they got a nice play call with it. Okay, we're going to come out right here and see the play call. Here we come. We got the two tight ends on one side, a heavy set. It's a clean handoff. Great running right here. Obviously, good job of protecting the ball. We got a little stiff arm action. Be careful on the sideline. That's why they don't give out very many sideline passes. This is the point I want to point right here. Watch our man right here, Kyle Long. There's a defender that Kyle Long comes off, number 75, and he what we call reach blocks him. There's a defender that he should actually be coming outside and taking that gap right where Howard runs the football. So that's great blocking on the outside of turning everybody out. But the guy that gets the credit for the key block, in my opinion, is number 75 on this play.
That's why he's made 3 straight Pro Bowls. And with Jordan Howard, perhaps the only healthy running back available on Sunday, maybe they'll put in the quarterback draw like Coach said.
I would.
You can call Brian Hoyer. I'm not going to do it.
I would. I'll call him right now.
We're going to shift our focus to the college game next. The Fighting Irish, well, they're 1-3 now. And Brian Kelly decides to make a change, firing his defensive coordinator. Plus, the Les Miles era is over in Baton Rouge, even though he won 77% of his games during his 12-year run. We'll talk some college pigskin next.
So I'm never gonna let you go. I'll hold you forever. Oh, baby, I'm gonna let you know we belong together. We belong together.
Your home, your auto. Together, they're where life happens. That's why State Farm protects them together to help life go right. Combine and save. Talk to a State Farm agent today.
Tomorrow on CSN Plus, Todd Frazier and your Sox look to turn the tables on Tampa and sting the Rays in Game 2 of the series. Coverage begins at 6:30 with White Sox pregame live, presented by the Koalas family of dealerships on CSN Plus.
Welcome to Speedy Cash, ma'am. Applying for a loan today?
I already got approved online. I'm just here to pick up my cash.
Smart. When you apply for a loan at SpeedyCash.com, you have 2 choices. Have the cash deposited directly into your bank account, or come into any Speedy Cash location and get cash on the spot.
I came in because I needed the cash today, and I like the kangaroo.
Direct deposit or drop by in person, get cash the way you want it at SpeedyCash.com.
Love that Speedy Cash.
Whoa!
You're not taking these.
Hey. You're not taking those.
Whoa. You're not taking that. Come with me.
You're not taking that.
You're not taking that.
You're not taking that.
Mom, I'm taking the Subaru.
Don't be late. Even when we're not there to keep them safe, our Subaru Outback will be.
Love. It's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
At Buffalo Wild Wings, you've got options. We've made it too easy for you. Simply call in your order or head to BuffaloWildWings.com and pick up at your nearest B-Dubs location. Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports.
Welcome back. And as to rank is the biggest upset from the college football weekend. 21-point underdog Duke goes into Notre Dame Stadium. They knock off the Irish 38-35. Once again, defense, the big issue. Duke came from behind on numerous occasions with some quick strike scores, and that was the winning field goal right there. And Coach Brian Kelly finally decided he had seen enough, makes the rather unusual move of firing assistant coach Brian Van Gorder in midseason.
Yeah, I think he just had to do something to try to get the attention of their players and everybody. But it really started last year. I'll make one point, and this kind of brings it into focus. Think about the last two games last year. They gave up over 35 against Stanford. Then in the bowl game, over 35 to Ohio State in the Fiesta Bowl. Then the opening game this season against Texas, they gave up over 35 points. So it ended bad last year, and it never really changed from week one.
Tough times right now in South Bend. An even more dramatic change in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. LSU fired head coach Les Miles after a disappointing 2-2 start. Les Miles won a national title. He won 77% of his games. They almost fired him last year. High expectations for LSU. They dump him after a 2-2 start.
Mark, they got the ball on the 30-yard line. They need a field goal to beat Wisconsin, and they throw the ball. I mean, what else do I got to say? I wouldn't even have a quarterback in the game at that point. You got Leonard Fournette in the backfield, hand him the ball. I don't know. You know, Les's offense has just been way too inconsistent.
Yeah, they had a chance to win against Auburn last weekend. The big officiating snafu. They wound up losing the ball game. Well, it looks like we have a very interesting race shaping up in the Big Ten. Wisconsin figured they might take a step back this year. Uncertainty at quarterback. Also a brutal schedule. But the Badgers go into East Lansing, and they annihilated the Spartans 30-6.
Yeah, the Badgers, the thing about Wisconsin, you're 3-0. They've beaten 2 top 10 teams so far this year. And the other team in the West, let's talk the West part of the conference first of the Big Ten. You know, right here you see a fumble and Wisconsin scores on this play. But Nebraska is 3-0. And the team that I like to win it still is Iowa. Iowa's got the one loss, but here's the catch. Iowa plays Wisconsin and Nebraska both at home. Look at the other side. Now you got Michigan. It was Michigan State and Ohio State. Ohio State's 2-0, okay?
Right.
You got Michigan 3-0, and last week Michigan State loses.
Right.
Michigan State has the same scenario. Now, I don't think they're going to win it, but they have Michigan at home, and they've got Ohio State at home. So both teams with one loss right now, Iowa and Michigan State, play the other two top dogs at their stadium.
Coach, I love you, but Iowa lost to North Dakota State. They almost lost to Rutgers. They're not that good.
I'm riding Iowa because of the schedule. They got 8 return starters on offense and defense. I like C.J. Beathard. I'm riding Iowa.
We might have to have a dinner bet on that one.
No, I didn't say they beat Ohio State, but I did say they'll win.
And the East will probably come down to Ohio State, Michigan in the final weekend of the season. That is all the time we have. Thanks for watching Inside the Huddle, presented by Ankin Law. We'll see you Sunday night at 10:30. Hopefully some better news following the Bears' home game against the Lions. So long, everybody.
Our involvement with Olivet started about 15 years ago when we were looking for a training camp. I knew Olivet was where we wanted to be. My journey going from ball boy when I was younger and then now to be running a training camp at Olivet, that's something that I never imagined would happen. Olivet Nazarene University, from where you are to where you will be.
For injury law, the choice is simple. Ankin, 312-6-million.
Attention, type 2 diabetics. According to the FDA, the drug Invokana may lead to diabetic ketoacidosis. If you or someone you love took Invokana and suffered ketoacidosis, you may be entitled to compensation. Ketoacidosis can cause kidney failure, coma, and even death. Call the law firm of Avram Blair & Associates right now for a free consultation.
Call 800-286-5089. That's 800-286-5089.
You love your couch and want to protect it from spills, food, and scratching, shedding pets. Introducing Couch Coat, the reversible, washable quilted cover that protects your couch. Shield against spills. Wow! Stop stains and dirty pet paws and sharp claws. Plus, it's reversible with 2 stylish colors. Guaranteed to fit any couch up to 92 inches or your money back. It even has covers to protect armrests. Machine washable too.
My grandkids destroy everything, but with Couch Coat, my couch is always protected, looking as good as it did the day I bought it.
Get your Couch Coat for just $19.99, and it's reversible in brown and cream, like 2 couch coats for the price of 1. Order right now, and you can double your offer. Get a second Couch Coat. Just pay a separate fee. Order right now.
Call 1-800-551-6921 to get your Couch Coat. Call now or go to CouchCoat.com. So call 1-800-551-6921. That's 1-800-551-6921. Call now.
We now join the following program already in progress.
I don't know that he was left in any longer than anybody could have guessed. You know, I think when our training staff comes to you and says he's got a thumb injury, then, you know, we made the move.
Did your game plan take his thumb into account if it was anything that bothered him during the course of the week?
None whatsoever, because it wasn't a factor.
What do you have the state of the running game right now? It's kind of tough getting off even in the first half.
You know, I think the way our game's gone, again, you always want more and better and all that, but you know, if you really look at per rush, it's not that bad. But we've been in 2 games where we've been trailing, and your run numbers usually drop. The team ahead, it goes up, and the team behind, it goes down. So in our first 2 games this season, I think our rush totals have been a little lower because we've fallen behind in the second half.
It's surprising that Howard didn't get more carries than just his 3 years. Seemed to be on a little bit of a roll, the hot back, it was 10 yards and 8 yards, and then he came out. Is there any plan to get him more, or is he being taken out just because of protection issues?
I don't know about issues. It's just, you know, he is a rookie. This is only his 2nd NFL game. You know, I think with time and practice and comfort, I think you'll see more.
Dean Carey had, I think he was on the field for 8 of the first 11 plays, something like that. Was that a concerted effort by you guys to get him involved, and if so, why?
You know, just to utilize, you know, 3 backs up on game day. You know, we have a 46-man active roster, and, you know, guys are playing a lot of different roles, whether it's in the kicking game or at their position. Just to keep guys fresh and, yeah, keep guys fresh.
John, what stood out to you about his field goal from 30?
Well, I mean, it was shorter than the 2 extra points we kicked, you know, so obviously, you know, Connor would like to have that kick back, so would we. You know, unfortunately, he did miss it, but, I mean, I don't know too many kickers that have never missed a field goal.
You guys were really high on him inside 40.
That was well documented.
Yes, does it
change
your thinking at all about your confidence in him?
No, I mean, hindsight's always 20/20. You know, again, he's missed 1 so far this year, so hopefully it doesn't become a habit.
John, the offense has been, like you said, behind the 8 ball kind of in a lot of these games, but they put themselves in that position last night with the safety blitz, nobody picked up, and then with that screenplay. Is that a legitimate concern about the preparedness of this offense under a first-year coordinator?
You know, again, all our signatures on it. We all take responsibility. It starts with me. I think, you know, we've been our own worst enemy. You know, we just haven't executed, and you know, that was early. I think we probably were less effective in the second half, much like we were in the first game in Houston. You a lot of the turnovers happened in that period of time that were really what kind of threw the game out of reach. So we did struggle. That first series was less than graceful. I think we went for about -15 on that series, but it got a little bit worse later. I thought we settled down. We had a scoring drive set up by a big play, by Alshon. And then there was some good performances. You look at Eddie Royal, a couple catches, and then, as well as the punt return. I think Alshon's had, 2 pretty good games. I think, part of our O-line has been a little more solid than other parts. Defensively, we did pretty good third down. I think they were 3 of 15 for 20%, which is a good night. Red zone. So there were some bright spots, but not enough, and we need to get that better.
Well, down 9-7, coming out of halftime, the defense held Philadelphia on their first possession, and then after the Bears had gained 28 yards on the first 3 plays, this is the fumble on that Jay committed here as he was being sacked, as we mentioned, by an undrafted rookie free agent. This is where we believe the injury happened, but Jiggs, he was also seemed a little bit short on some throws earlier in the game. Yeah. You heard John Fox mention was in practice all week. There was a report earlier that he may have been injured actually in the Houston game. John Fox denies that. He took every snap in practice last week, wasn't on the injury report. So, maybe this was in addition to something that may have happened a little bit earlier in the game, too. We're all just speculating.
Those injuries, sometimes, one stacks on the other, and all of a sudden you've got an issue. I should point out on that play, though, the guy made a play, and it was a great play for Philadelphia. It was only because Jay was running that he made that sack, because he'd been handled at the line of scrimmage. Mm-hmm. But believe me, there were plenty of other situations where pass protection was an issue in this game for the Bears, but that was not one of them. Yeah,
Paul Lasike, the fullback, has just been released by the Bears. I'd imagine they're going to try and get him back on the practice squad if no one else should claim him, but they're going to have to probably, with all these injuries, make some room in order to either elevate someone from the practice squad or pick someone off waivers. Probably need Matthew Barkley to be active on Sunday at the very least.
So Lasike scores a touchdown and then gets released the next day.
No, well, he didn't score a touchdown. He had a first down run last night.
Nice first down run.
We want you to get involved on Twitter with our Cover 2 segment. When we wrap up the show, our questions for Dan Jiggets, use the hashtag BearsTalk. And if you have some of those, we'll get to some of those as much as possible. When we return, we'll look at Jay's final play and how that injury may have affected him. And now as we await just how long he will be out. Played in 15 games a year ago, hasn't played a full 16-game season in quite some time. This is Bears Recap, brought to you by United.
P is for permission to indulge. O is for out of this world. L is for loving the seasonal cuisine. A is for access to everything, including the aisle. R is for reclining in tailor-made bedding. And I must be dreaming. S, so long, jet lag. Polaris from United.
Hecky, now we got plenty pride and passion. Yeah, we got many styles and fashions. Michigan to Austin, every part has events to offer, and the fireworks are off a spark. Yeah, best decision I ever made was coming here. Standing on your big shoulders. Gotta do nothing but love for you, stay here forever.
Vonage is here to help you connect. Always.
Hey, Mom.
Connect in more ways. Connect in new ways with a home phone that links to your smartphone.
Hey, Danny. Dad?
Vonage has created a new kind of home phone service so you can connect more and pay less. Talk all you want across the U.S., Canada, and Mexico on both your home and mobile phones for just $9.99 a month. That's 60% off for a full year. Plus, call home over Wi-Fi from anywhere in the world for free. Block unwanted callers forever with just a swipe. And when you can't pick up, you won't miss out. Thanks to Vonage Visual Voicemail. Get our best offer ever. 60% off for a full year and talk all you want for just $9.99 a month. Act now and get everything you need to get started free. That's $119 value. Connect more. Connect better. Connect now with Vonage.
Call 1-800-595-7953 or go to buyvonage.com.
Back on Bears Recap, time for Through the Air, brought to you by United Airlines. And as a result of that thumb injury, that's what's believed to have caused Jay to throw that pass, which resulted in the interception, turned into his final play of the game. You heard John Fox talking about it is a sprain. Surgery is not necessary right now. Almost made it sound like there could be some surgery planned down the line, but they're going to try and treat this, try and get him back at some point next season. And then there was the whole fallout afterwards with Purnell running into Jay, stating, telling Jay to perhaps criticizing him a little bit. And that was a topic of conversation afterwards, and Jay addressed it when he met the media.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. He's a passionate guy. Everyone's got a lot invested into this, and he does as well. No one likes to lose. No one likes to lose in that type of fashion. He's upset. I'm upset. Everyone in that locker room's upset right now. So, but the good thing is we got a bunch of good guys in there, and we got a bunch of good coaches, and we got 14 games left.
And obviously it was a hot topic of conversation on the post-game show afterwards as well. Guys, Alex and Lance and Jim and Coach Dave Wanstead had pretty strong opinions on it. These things happen all the time. Usually they're in the locker room. Guys get passionate, and when
sometimes they're in the locker room.
When you have a one captain approaching another captain, obviously there's a lot of frustration building up. What was your opinion of the incident, especially having a guy in street clothes approaching it in front of everybody? You've been through many of these before. Usually, I would imagine coaches would prefer those things be handled behind closed doors.
Yeah, you'd like to, ideally you'd like to, but you're also out there on the field and everybody's kind of worked up about the whole thing. Now, it's hard on McPhee because he's not able to go out there and do anything. I don't think he can do is talk like all the rest of us. But you know what, maybe, I'm sure if you approached him today and said, what were you thinking? I probably should have waited until later on. But you know what? It's in the moment. It's that kind of thing. But I tell you what, though, sometimes maybe that's when John Fox is going to have to step in and go, hey, look, guys, I'm the head coach, okay? Just remember that. And we don't need that out there on the field. 'Cause, look, it happened back in the day when I was playing. Dan Hampton and Stephen Michael and those guys could be pretty vicious towards the offense. They had some thoughts on the offense when the offense wasn't cranking out the yards necessary to get first downs and Buddy. So it's not something that's, this is the first time. This is big news. But you know what? It was probably the wrong platform at that time to do it.
And when you say John should address it, should it just be with Purnell, or should he do it in front of the entire group?
I think the whole group, the whole team. Because everybody probably saw it that was down there in that area of the sideline. So that's the way you want to address it. You want to let them know that, hey, look, guys, this is what the situation is. We're struggling right now. Yeah. And because what you have to do, I think, as a head coach, is create the atmosphere and the understanding that your backs are against the wall.
There's enough adversity as
there's enough going on. Yeah. Your backs are against the wall, and nobody's coming to help you. There's nobody, the cavalry's not riding in, on the horse to save you. You guys, the group that's in there has got to be the group that's going to get it done for you. And either it's going to happen or it's not. But you know what? Everybody, all hands on deck, and everybody pulling on the same end of the rope, because if you're pulling on the opposite end of the rope, you're pulling this team down.
And you got a lot of young first, second-year players, too, where you're trying to set a tone and a culture.
Look for some leadership.
Again, you love the intensity and the passion, but keep that on the field between the lines during the course of the game.
Or, you're taking
not,
when
keep
you guys,
it behind closed doors.
When you guys have an opportunity to chat indoors.
Yes. So we may be seeing Brian Hoyer starting at quarterback Sunday night in Dallas when the Bears take on